Now, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off this year's conference, please put your hands together for our leader.
Sun bleeds crimson on the eastern plains. Another kingdom falls, another crown I claim. My boots echo on the coastal floor. Victorious roar, a hunger for more. I am the king, the lion in the fight. My roar commands, my justice takes its flight. From shattered thrones, a legend I will write. I am the king, bathed in glorious light.
Good afternoon, everyone. That wasn't me. If you haven't noticed, I'm brown. That's orange. And also, there can only be one king, right? There's only one king in the world. So right now, we're going to focus on what we are here for. Let's leave our kingdoms. Certainly after yesterday's announcement, I'm not the king. When we chose this theme, Leadership on a World of Fire, it was done 8 months ago. And unfortunately, the world did come on fire, and we do find ourselves in very unusual times. And I think it's time like this that's where real leadership counts. And we thought, running businesses, running hotels, certainly you can't be in that kingdom mode and just run as if you're the king. You have to have different skill sets to run businesses. And we chose to kind of do a survey of close to 100 leaders from around the world. And we wanted to share what those results were. And there's no leadership style which is right or wrong. You might get traits. There's a lot of youngsters here, there are a lot of GMs here who maybe in the next decade will go on to become leaders of companies. There are lots of development people out here who would grow. So I think we just wanted to share, where are the hospitality leaders coming from? So let's look at what we did, right? We looked at close to 100 leaders. That was our sample set. A large majority of them are 50 and above, which you would expect if you were leading a hotel company or leading a role which is fairly significant at the global level, regional level, or maybe somewhat at the India level. We also looked at how that experience was distributed. Many of you, particularly those of you who have been around, quite a few of you have been in the business for 40 years and are doing this. We looked at the top designations. So if you're looking for that designation, these were the most popular designations that were out there. And then also, where did this sample set really originate from, right? It was some part of it, being this is South Asia, a large part of it was, the survey that was carried out was from people from here. There was some global, and then there was some transcontinental. And what do I mean by that? You could be in Middle East, but you're also looking after Asia Pac, or you could be in Middle East and also have Europe as part of your area of influence. So where is the education qualifications coming from, right? A large part of the people who are in this hotel industry do have a hospitality background. Interestingly, a large part, the second highest area of influence for people growing into this have finance and accounting, and then some general business ideas. So just gives you a sample of where these leaders are from and what their educational background is. We also chose to break down leadership between people who have been 55 years or more or 55 years and below. And the reason we did that, we wanted to see how that split has happened. How has the evolving leader changed from when he or she was there maybe 20 years ago and to how that's changing. And what we realized is that more and more people who are growing, becoming leaders, very interestingly, have a hotel management degree. So that portion has actually grown. So more people who are younger have hotel degrees. Finance and accounting has also jumped up from 18% to 27% for those who are under 55. And then the other educational domains have reduced. So if you want to go to the top, you either have a hotel degree or maybe at best you have a finance and accounting degree, and therefore that's where you would go from. We also wanted to check what your background is, right? Many of the leaders that we interviewed, 93% of it, and this doesn't mean that you only had operational background. You could also have development, finance and accounting. So you could have done operations, you could have done development, and you would show up in both categories. So this will not add up to 100, obviously, but just tells you that most of the people who had to be leaders have had some level of operations, some development, and of course the fourth category was some level of consulting background. We then said, let's look at how this may have changed from 55 and more, and then we looked at how that's changed. And obviously, as the younger generation has lesser operation experience, more development background, more consulting background, so this is something that we thought was interesting to share. We looked at also how we keep complaining that youngsters jump jobs, and this is very evident because a lot of the seniors, a lot of the people who have made it to the top have only worked, 31% of them have only worked in 3 companies. There are a few that have worked from 3 to 6 companies. But if you look at the CVs that you get today, a youngster walks into your room, he's in his early 40s, and he's already done 10 companies. So keep that in mind if you're a youngster, to say, look, you need to build credibility. You need to, earn your spurs before you move to the next job. And it is creating a problem because there is a problem of deficit when we go forward for future leaders. Average tenure, as you can see, has also changed, right? This is something that era of 20 years is fading away. More and more people are jumping and moving ahead with different jobs. So that is going to create a succession crisis, right? Because 83% of the leadership that we currently have is 50 plus. So I think in a decade, I think we lost that. In the next decade or so, there's only 2.3% of the people who are under 40, and that's a source of worry because as we grow, we're growing companies, we're adding hundreds of hotels. And the next CEO that comes along, or the CEO after that, is going to be more difficult because the quality or the pool of leadership is also shrinking. We will be releasing this report in more details, but I just want to close by sharing as to who's here in the audience today. We've had a record year. We've got, I think that number is as of last night. I think we've crossed 800. It's our largest HICSA. 14 of the 21 HICSAs have been in this room, and we're running short of spaces. And I've actually literally counted, there are only 6 or 7 hotels in the whole of India that can actually fit us. Most people will say, oh, no, I have a ballroom that can fit us. It's not the ballroom, it's the PFA, it's the other things that we like to do from a MICE perspective, and we need to start thinking of how hotels are built also, because a lot of hotels only focus on social venues, and therefore it looks, oh, I have a big ballroom and I can do it, but you need bigger ballrooms. But quickly here, numbers have gone up. We have fewer international travelers, which was expected. Typically, we are at 17, 18, 19%. We are down. But very interestingly, big shout out to my friends from the Dubai who have made it. 20 of you are still here, which is really encouraging. Obviously, Singapore and US are also there. So yes, a fewer international delegates that were here, but a good number nonetheless. And where are you coming from? What's your background? For us at Hotelivate, whether it's this conference or our other global conferences, our focus is always on the two groups of people, which is owners, and more owners, because they're the ones who pay our bills, they're the ones who pay the bills for the consultants, they're the ones who the media bite is looking for that media bite from, and the brands want to meet them. So we're very happy that between the hospitality owners, owning companies, and real estate developers, we're still around 20, 21% of the audience out here is that category. And finally, a big shout out to our sponsors. And as always, without you guys, we will not be here. And one last slide, which is very personal to me. We lost a gentleman last week. Param was amongst my first clients, a regular at HICSA, a great man, and I just wanted to remember him because he introduced me to a lot of people in this room initially, and God bless his soul. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Manav.